Today we're going to practice multiplication and division word problems. Monster math. Read the problems. Highlight the clues that help you decide to add or subtract. Circle the correct operation. Multiply or divide. Complete the problems by adding the symbol times or divide. Write the answer when it belongs. Where it belongs, sorry. So and this is a Google Slides document. So I was having a hard time trying to figure out how I was going to have you highlight um, the numbers and information. So today, for just these activities, you do not have to highlight, but normally I'm going to have you highlight the numbers and the units. But for today, we're just going to do some practicing. So it's number 1 says Sarah Skeleton bought 6 bags of eyeballs for her trick-or-treaters. There are 8 eyeballs in each bag. How many is that altogether? If you look at the bottom of the page, you will see multiply. Keywords are all together or in all. When you divide, keywords are how many, each, and each. So for number 1 has the word each. I can move this back up. Hold on. Number 1 has the word each, which is a key word, but when we look what they're looking for, or what the question is that we need to answer, how many is that altogether? That last question that we need to answer tells us the key words altogether. And that tells us to multiply. Anytime you see the words in all or all together, you multiply. So we're going to click on this little line up here, and I'm going to come down, and I'm going to underline multiply. Then I have some text boxes here for you. You'll click on the text box, and you'll type your number in. So we had 6, then we put our multiplication sign, and we put in the other number 8. 6 times 8 equals 48. So we put 48 in after the equal sign. So when you go back up here after you hit this line, make sure you click on the icon that's an arrow. So I'm going to let you do the rest of, well, let's do number 2 together. Maximilian Mummy gave each of his 4 brothers and sisters an equal amount from his new roll of bandages. The roll was 36 feet long. So for number 2, you look at, the last question. Well, we know the numbers are 4 and 36, right? The units are feet. The unit is feet. The question was, how many feet did each get? So the key word in the last question that we have to answer is each. So that tells us we need to divide. And for today, you can just use I'll show you. So we always want to, when you divide, it's just like subtraction where you put the biggest number first. So 36 is a greater number than 4. So we're going to put 36. And then when we divide, in the directions it told us to put a slash, which is another way of saying to divide. So if you look on your keyboard, I think on the same key as the question mark is the slash. So you don't have, you can just hit that key and it's a little slanted line basically. 36 divided by, and then 4. Click on the other text box, 4. Okay, I forgot to say that we're dividing, so I'm going to go up here to this line and underline divide. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, so 36 divided by 4 is the same, the answer is 9. And we just did related facts, so if you know that if we were to do the inverse operation, it would be 9 times 4 is 36. So 36 divided by 4 is 9. And I forgot to tell you that you should also, I'm going to extend this text box. You should put the units. How many is that altogether? And the unit up here is eyeballs. So 48 eyeballs. Down here, the unit would be feet. 9 feet long. Okay. Oops, my line, I'll move it back. There we go. All right, I'm going to have you do the rest of those. These ones we're practicing. So Peter visited 9 houses while he was trick-or-treating. If he got 3 pieces of candy at each house, how many pieces of candy does he have altogether? So, so, so it says, how many pieces of candy does he have altogether? So that was our last question. So altogether tells us that we're going to multiply. We're not going to divide because it doesn't ask us how many pieces of candy did each get. It's asking us how many we have altogether. So we can draw, if it's a little bit difficult right now, but if you have this as a piece of paper in front of you, you could draw 3 rows of 9 and then just count all the circles. Or you could do, that's called the array method of multiplication. Or you could do groups. So you would make 9 groups, so 9 circles with three little pieces of candy in each circle, and then you would count how many pieces of candy were in each circle that represented the houses. But for today, we're just 9 times 3 is the same as repeated addition, adding 9 3 times. We know 9 plus 9 is 18, so adding another 9 would be 27. So in this text box here, I am going to put 9 times 3 equals 27. This one, all you need to do is, and then, I'm sorry, I forgot to say that you have to put the units. So 27 what? Well, what was the question? How many pieces of candy does he have altogether? So you're going to put 27, and they asked for pieces of candy. Was the information they wanted? Was the answer the unit? Okay, next one. 3 spiders were, well, I'll do number 5. Or, no, let me see here. 4 witches were stirring their potion in their cauldrons. Each witch needs to add 6 flowers to the potion. How many flowers do the 4 witches need? So your numbers here are 4 and 6. There's 4 witches and there's 6 flowers. And they want to know so for this one, it doesn't say altogether, but geez, I don't know why these people are emailing me. Getting junk email. So you are going, it says each witch needs to add 6 flowers to the potion. How many flowers do the 4 witches need? So I kind of think this is a typo. It should say how many flowers, because they already told me each witch needs to add 6 flowers to the potion. So if there are 4 witches, you would multiply 4 times 6, and you would tell me how many flowers they got in all, received in all. So I think there's a little typo there because it already tells you each witch needs to add 6 flowers to the potion. So it's how many flowers do the 4 witches need? No, they already told you that they need to add 6. So you're going to do multiplication 6 times 4. It would be the same as adding 6 4 times. So if you know 6 plus 6 is 12, and another 6 plus 6 would be 12, so that's adding 6 4 times. So 12 plus 12 would be 24 if you're doing repeated addition. Um, Let me see. Let's look at number 7. The Adams family bought 4 bags of candy to hand out the trick or treat to the trick or treaters. Each bag, geez, there are some typos in this worksheet. Each bag has 30 pieces of candy. How many pieces of candy does the Adams family have to hand out? So, if we look at our last question, it says, it says each bag has 30 pieces of candy. And how many bags were there? There's 4 bags. How many pieces of candy does the Adams family have to hand out? So, I had to think about that for a second, but it is asking you altogether. It doesn't say the word altogether, but that's what it's asking you. How many pieces of candy does the Adams family have to hand out? So it would be 30 times 4. This question was a tricky one because the word wasn't in the text, but it was implied. So how many pieces of candy does the Adams family have to hand out? They are asking you how many pieces of candy do they have altogether to give out. So you would do 3 times 4. first. Since it's 30 times 4, but if you take out the 0 and just do 3 times 4, that's the same as adding 4 3 times, and you would get 12. So I could put 12 down here. And just add a 0 because there's 1 0 in the number 30 in this problem. So 120, and then our unit is pieces of candy again. That's what the question was that we needed to answer. It was asking us for how many pieces of candy does the Addams family have to hand out. I was trying to find one that had division. Remember, when you divide, you take the greatest number first, and then it's just like subtraction. You take the biggest number first. You always start with that number. Okay? I want you to complete these. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thanks.